Officer Hankerson was absolutely justified in what he did that day.
A man who tried to rob a local bank was shot by an off-duty police officer on Wednesday afternoon. Today, the investigation is closed. Good evening, everyone. We can now see exactly what happened inside the Madisonville Fifth Third that resulted in the death of 20-year-old Terry Frost.
Frost was shot and killed by Cincinnati police officer Kevin Hankerson in what has been ruled a justified shooting. Hankerson was working an off-duty security detail behind the counter of the bank and was in uniform when he shot Frost. Local 12's Rich Jaffe has been on this story for the last couple of days. He joins us now with a look at the video. Rich?
Rob, when the police chief described the scenario yesterday, I said at noon that this would be ruled a clean shoot, and it was. No one can say why Terry Frost went into that bank, but it was quickly decided that everything Kevin Hankerson did was by the book. Some people even saying the guy deserves a medal.
The video tells the story. Within seconds of Terry Frost entering the bank, covered up in a hoodie and mask, he vaults over the counter and just about runs into the terrified clerk, along with Officer Kevin Hankerson. Hankerson pushes the clerk out of the way as Frost raises his gun hand. He had this .38 caliber Derringer in his hand, covered with a plastic bag. He attempts to fire the gun, but as we explained exclusively this morning, that .38 caliber gun had the wrong ammo in it. He had a smaller .380 shell in the chamber. It wouldn't fire. Frost can be seen almost jerking it as he points the gun at the officer. But the officer's 9mm does shoot, twice. One of the rounds lethally striking Frost as he tries to flee.
There's no reason for it to go to a grand jury. It was as clean of a police-involved shooting as I've ever seen.
Joe Deters says the clerk in the video was counting around $80,000 of ATM money when Frost came through the door. Deters says there's good reason to believe Frost knew the money was there because of the speed of his assault. What he didn't bet on was Hankerson.
Because the speed in which he got to that money, it literally was 2 seconds from the time he entered that door. So he was in a full sprint and then vaulted himself over the counter. I mean, if it was a normal bank robbery, you walk up, you hand a note to somebody, and that's the end of it. This was not normal.
Boy, you can say that again. Kevin Hankerson will be off duty for at least the next week. That's standard procedure. I've heard from a number of people that Hankerson was working the extra security details to buy a riding mower. That's so he could spend more time with his family. There's also an effort underway, thanks to fellow officers, to get it for him. And you can find out more information about that on our website. Rob?
It's just amazing that the officer nor the teller were shot because the gun was fired, is what they believe, right?
That's exactly right. And it looks like, according to the prosecutor and also according to that video, that there's that moment when Frost is doing like this and he's pointed right at the police officer, but it's not firing. And that is probably, although no one can tell for sure, that is probably when the hammer on that Derringer went forward and hit the wrong shell. Fortunately, it didn't fire. And that's also moments after that when Frost seems to change his mind and he tries to get out of there and he bolts back over that counter, but a little bit too late. The officer's gun worked.
And it all happened so fast. Rich Jaffe, thanks very much. Police Chief Eliot shared the surveillance video with Terry Frost's family before the news conference today.